Ish, we're back.
Yeah.
Another day, another review.
Another day, another review. There's finally a bit of fleece weather going on.
It is, yeah, it's not too bad. A bit
better than the last review when you had me in a boiling hot car.
Well, it wasn't my fault, you forgot your top. I hear someone's birthday today, is that true?
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
It is. I was going to get you a coffee, but they ran out of milk.
I'm not a big birthday guy.
Okay. So how about I introduce you and showcase another electric vehicle on the PCO?
Sounds like a plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So last time round, you perfectly reviewed the MG5 EV exclusive.
Thank you very much. Perfect. Wow. Okay. Well, you know.
Adequately.
Viewers can decide for themselves.
So this time round, it's my turn to be reviewing a car for you.
Very excited.
The tables have turned.
Yeah.
Super excited?
Yeah, I'm bursting. I'm literally filling to the top with tension.
You don't have to take the piss out of me.
Drum roll, please.
Of course, it's an electric car. Introducing none other than the VW ID.3 Life. All right, Ish, welcome to the VW vehicle.
Yeah, thank you for having me at the VW vehicle.
The first vehicle of its kind that's electric from the ground up from the beginning, so it's not like a Golf that's been kind of adapted for electric vehicles.
Okay.
A few changes here, of course. You can see that there's a new VW logo.
Yeah.
Kind of minimalist design, that's kind of the new trend these days.
Is it me, or does that look a little bit like, you know, one of those old school camper van VWs with the hippies in the 70s? Or is that?
Yeah, I see that, I see where you're going with that. We've also got an additional light line that comes from the side of the vehicle as well.
Yeah.
More obvious obviously when it's darker, conditions aren't ideal for that. And of course we've got LED headlights as well, so that's pretty standard these days.
LED.
Absolutely, and there's some on the back as well once we get to there. So with that in mind, first impressions of the front of the car?
First impression, can I be honest?
Always.
Pure thoughts.
Hippie.
Off the cuff, as they say. I feel like it seems a little bit. Does it feel a bit squished to you? Does it feel a bit compact?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I understand where you're coming from, and that has been a bit of a reservation from some quarters of the PCO industry, from PCO drivers.
Yeah, so I'm not alone.
You're not alone in that thinking, and obviously it does have its benefits in terms of parking and picking up and dropping off customers as well. It's not all doom and gloom. But actually, I think once you get inside the vehicle, you'll realise actually it's quite spacious and quite airy as well. So let's reserve that judgment for when we get inside.
Okay, so it's a bit of a compact on the outside.
Yeah, a bit like the TARDIS from Doctor Who. There we
Okay.
go. Cue maybe an image of the TARDIS
I never
whizzing
watched
past.
Doctor Who.
You never watched Doctor Who? Come on, how's your childhood?
Nah, it feels like the graphics are a bit too.
Things have moved on. They're a bit better these days. A bit better. Okay. All right. How about we look at the sides?
Okay.
All right, Ish, we come to the side of the vehicle.
Yeah.
I think there's two kind of key standout features here to showcase to you and the audience. One being the wheels, a bit of the elephant in the room if I'll be honest, 18-inch steel wheels. Aero is the name. Give it an old little, a bit plasticky. So they are a bit like Marmite, either kind of love them or hate them. Some parts of the PCO industry and the drivers seem to love it, others not so much, but I think it's a personal choice. The second one is less controversial, is of course the positioning of the charger, which is just over here, classic traditional, like other vehicles, petrol, hybrids and diesels.
Nice,
as you remember from the MG review, it was on the front. Some seem to love this idea of tapping into the logo on the front of the vehicle and it opening up, but this has gone for the classic old school way.
I've got to say, I quite like that because I think, obviously with the MG 5 when we reviewed it, it was quite nice having that charger on the front. It seemed like it was kind of sleek, a bit different. But what I quite like about this car is I feel like they've modernized in some areas and kept it traditional in others. So obviously it feels quite compact because obviously you don't have a big combustion engine. So, you know, they've taken advantage of that to do what other vehicle manufacturers can't do and make kind of a slick, compact inner city vehicle. But at the same time, they've kept some of those more traditional touches like the look and the feel. And so, I mean, all in all, doesn't wow me, but I quite like it. Yeah.
Well, it's the best of both worlds, isn't it? So, like I said, traditional features, but some new technology in there as well.
Yeah,
so,
seems good.
Lovely stuff. Let's go on to the back of the vehicle. All right, Ish, so welcome to the rear of the vehicle. Kind of futuristic design going on here as well.
Yeah, can I pop it?
Not quite yet.
Ooh.
Appreciate the enthusiasm, of course.
Okay.
We've got LED tail lights with integrated indicators.
All right.
Now you can pop it.
I've got to say, I actually quite like this logo now. It's growing on me a little bit.
The fact you've got to engage with it to use it to open up as well is a pretty cool feature. Right, here's the boot. All right, as you can see, a respectable amount of boot space. There's actually a hidden compartment down here underneath all of Tom's equipment. for extra charging needs and accessories. And if you want to make the boot space a bit more bigger, you can move the seats around. You can do like a 60-40 split of folding seats.
Nice.
So there is potential to increase it if, let's say, you're doing a job to Heathrow or Gatwick, or someone's just got a lot of luggage. Where are they going? Who knows? Doesn't really matter. You do the job and you go.
Well, I've got to say, it definitely looks a lot bigger than it seems from the outside. From the outside, it looks like a very, like we've said, compact vehicle. But when you open it up, I mean, that's plenty of space in there.
Absolutely, yeah. So far, so good. So how about we get inside the vehicle, can show some more tech and features, and we can go for a lovely drive. How about that?
My favourite bit, so
All right.
let's do it.
Absolutely. All right, we're inside the VW.
Yeah.
First impressions?
Well, first impressions is that it actually looked kind of bare.
Bare?
Yeah, it doesn't
Bare,
feel
you
like
say?
there's a lot around me, actually.
Well, it's definitely got quite a kind of minimalist design about it.
Yeah.
We'll go into more detail in a second. But how about before we start, I read off a few features, a few
sure.
key facts about the car. So it's
Yeah,
obviously
sure.
a 58 kilowatt battery, which is equal to about 262 miles. Now, obviously, you've got to take in weather conditions, like in winter time and in the summer, and your driving style will play a key role in how much mileage you actually get out of it. But I think for the majority of drivers, 262 is an amazing amount of range, and that could last you up to 2 days.
Yeah, sounds good.
So in terms of like maximising time on the road and the kind of fear that some drivers
Always
might
important.
have. Exactly. Some drivers might have some fears about charging and take too much time. Well, with this vehicle, it does actually have a fast charging feature.
Okay,
So
hit me with some numbers.
Absolutely. So you can do up to 260 miles of charging in just 30 minutes.
Wow.
That's insane. That's
That
like
is
2
actually
days.
pretty
That's
good,
like 2 days worth of charging.
Yeah.
I mean, in the time it takes to have a coffee and a quick bite, and maybe a pop to the loo. So there's a few T's and C's in that as well, just for those that want to know. It has to be done in a quick charge mode with a direct current, and performing at 100 kilowatt performance as well.
Okay,
So,
but if you meet those criteria, then I mean, 30 minutes for 260 miles, that sounds pretty good, actually.
yeah, it's amazing, and it kind of completely reduces that kind of anxiety some drivers might naturally have about how long it takes to charge up a vehicle.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
100%.
Maybe before we set off, I want to give you some kind of cool little features that I know you're going to love, Ish.
Okay.
One being there's a wireless charger right there. Very
It's
discreet.
kind of hidden, isn't it?
Yeah, which is good, which is perfect.
Yeah,
it's not so
it
blindingly
is.
obvious.
But I'll say at the same time, it's not like some of these other cars where the wireless charger is a bit kind of like hidden under the dashboard. I quite like
It just slips in nice.
It's a
and
place that
easy.
you would also like naturally like to put your phone. So I can imagine myself slipping in and out of that. Yeah.
Secondly, you've got a lovely little compartment over here, which has 2 USB ports as well for yourself.
Oh, very cool.
Could whack in a little USB stick and put on a film as well.
Really? Oh,
Personal choice.
Is that a thing with all EVs, or is that just this EV?
Let's just go for the CV for now. Must be mentioned, please don't watch films while driving.
No. I was thinking more for the kids that I don't have on the family trip that I'm not going on.
Exactly. Personal favourite film you get to pick for a long journey up north?
I don't know. I find that some good road viewing is probably something a bit fast paced, like Snatch. That works well.
Snatch is a good film. I'll personally go for Inception.
Oh, Inception. Inception's like your favourite film of all time, right?
I guess I may have mentioned it once or twice before.
Yeah, I think you made us watch the trailer in The Office a few times.
That wasn't me. That was someone else.
Like 6 times.
Maybe 7.
Yeah,
all right.
Not that good. All right.
Well, talking of USB chargers, there's actually, this is really cool, 2 more in the back for the riders.
So you don't have to faff about trying to put your own
Exactly. Let them do it in their own time.
Yeah, I like that.
And you focus on the road ahead. Okay, see in front of you, you've got 2 digital screens. One's a 10-inch touchscreen, fully customizable, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, sat-nav as well.
Come to expect it. Can I say, just in terms of impressions that I get with this car, when I first stepped in, first thing I thought was very spacious. But also maybe, like I said, it felt a little bit bare, like I felt like I didn't really know where things were. And what I think that I've come to understand is that everything seems to kind of been condensed into these 2 consoles here in front of me. Whereas before, like, you had your console center here on the left, you had, a few bits and pieces, some gadgets, you had your air conditioning knobs, even like you have in the Kia e-Niro, which drivers can see if they go on our reviews.
It's there somewhere.
But here, I feel like, you've kind of got like the handbrake up here, you've got this console seems kind of small, you've got all the information you need, but it's kind of all here behind the front steering wheel, and the rest is kind of in this console center here.
Yeah, they kind of maximise the space and being really efficient in what we're trying to do. And definitely there's a few features here that might take a little bit of kind of getting used to.
So would I be right in saying that kind of what VW have gone for here is kind of a minimalist design, maximize on range, keep the car kind of as simple as possible, keep it kind of compact but at the same time spacey by not putting all these extra added features or like gimmicky features around the place, but instead just trying to kind of intelligent design, basically, like trying to centralize everything into kind of 2 smart consoles.
Ish, I couldn't have said it better myself. Perfect. Took the words right in my mouth. There we go. The way it's been designed in terms of the windows and the space and the light that comes in, it's quite airy, isn't it?
Yeah, completely. It feels like, you know what, it's like outside, it feels like it's almost like a smart car, and then you step inside and it feels like a good old VW Golf or Polo, just like it's always been.
How are you feeling in the front seats?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Yeah, comfortable.
Not toasty?
No, not particularly toasty. No.
Okay, well, if it does get to winter and you're feeling a bit chilly, it does have heated front seats as well, and on the steering wheel.
Very nice, yeah.
In terms of the comfort, there's 2-tone upholstery as well.
Oh, very cool.
How about that for starters? Right, so that's some basic information about the vehicle.
And some not so basic information as well. It's very thorough, Rich. Quite enjoyed that, actually, that run through.
Very stressful for me, very stressful. How do you feel about setting off and going on your first journey in this fully electric PCO car?
I honestly could not be more excited for anything in my entire life.
Okay, well, before you go, maybe it's good for me to tell you that the gears are not down here.
Yeah.
They're actually up there in the corner.
Yeah, I did notice that.
It might throw you off a little bit of a wobbly, but a lot of thought's actually gone into why it's up there in the corner. So actually, there's no gear shifts, meaning the drive is essentially a smooth, fun, responsive, and intuitive drive as well.
Well, proof's in the pudding.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Let's go.
So as you can see, there is actually rear parking sensors and front parking.
Yeah.
Sadly, no reversing camera, but as you can see from this awesome audible and visual shot, you'll be able to kind of have a perfect idea of where exactly you're positioned on the road.
Well, reverse parking camera is useful, but it's not. I think most PCO drivers can get by without one these days. Yeah,
and you can sometimes have a bit of like a distorted effect, can't you, from the way the camera, almost that kind of fish lens kind of view. So it's not always perfect, but I wouldn't be put off by the fact that it hasn't got reversing camera because the sensors are there. So you've actually got 4 driving modes on this vehicle: Eco, Sport, Comfort, and Individual, where you can individually tailor it to your driving style.
Yeah, I like these EV cars seem to have different modes that you can operate in. It makes for a more economical drive and at times a more pleasant experience, depending on if you can get the most out of it.
And efficiency is obviously super important in this trade as well.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of education there for a lot of drivers as well.
Plenty of features on here. Let me just reel off some of them. I've got my trusted notes by my side.
Okay.
So let's just do it. Okay, so it's got a dynamic roadside recognition system. Very fancy. Driver fatigue alert system as well.
Oh, very cool.
We've got lane keeping system, driver assistance settings as well to go with that. Comfort pack, infotainment pack, and protection pack.
What I've liked is that they managed to keep this car minimal, in favour of boosting up the range and keeping it as a kind of the perfect city car, while at the same time not scrimping out on some of those features that you've come to expect from EV vehicles, like the lane keep assist. So for instance, you won't get a rear view parking camera, but you will get the sensors and stuff like that 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 a lot of people have come to trust by.
And talking of sensors, actually, one cool feeling is that as you're coming to a kind of stop, you're parking up, you're taking a quick break, it kind of goes into kind of auto mode where if it knows you're about to hit something, maybe there's a lamppost or another car, it would automatically stop the car for you.
Yeah, these are all features that you never want to have to use, but when you do, I'm sure you're grateful that they exist.
So Ish, you may have noticed some lights on the front of the dashboard.
Yeah, I did actually. I thought I was, due a call with my GP.
Well, don't worry. Look, this car isn't quite Knight Rider, and you're not quite David Hasselhoff. However,
far from it.
There's something called ID Light, which is essentially a way for you to communicate with the car through audio and visually as well. So you can talk to the car. You can even say goodbye and good night to the vehicle if you really want to, of course.
That sounds a bit excessive, but I like where it's going.
Yeah, fantastic, of course, for sat nav and stuff like that. It's a really kind of futuristic tool, which is really ahead of its game. Really, really nice.
Yeah, sounds really cool.
Just to add to that, you may also notice that as you're driving around, the vehicle will read cues from signage, so let's say speed limits, one-way turns, all that kind of stuff, and it will pop up on the screen in front of you so you can see that. And it's essentially a kind of intelligent way to warn you about any prospective fines you may have and to keep you safe on the road.
That's very futuristic.
It is indeed. So yeah, the more you learn about this car, the more exciting features there is to experience.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I like about it. I feel like they haven't scrimped on the intelligent design or the kind of futuristic build. They have kept it more minimal. You know, it's almost like they've stripped back on the things that they didn't think were important to kind of maximize on range and maximize on the kind of city car feel. But at the same time, they haven't scrimped on kind of these intelligent features that I think that all EV drivers have come to kind of love and in some ways expect over the years.
So you've been driving the car for 15-20 minutes,
Yeah.
getting used to it, getting comfortable. Certain things were in different positions and they weren't maybe in past reviews and normal from day to day.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
What's the general feeling so far? How's the drive?
Really enjoyable, actually. It's quite smooth. I feel like it definitely feels like a city car. It feels nippy and it feels like I'm not a big presence on the road, which is quite nice. But at the same time, it's very spacious inside, which is good. I can't feel Tom's knees in my back. That's always a bonus.
Absolutely.
But then at the same time, I feel like, I thought like at the beginning it felt a bit, I'll be honest, it felt a bit go-karty, almost like when you were driving one of those mini Coopers a while back. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I actually think they work well as city cars, but it feels efficient, feels good to drive. No complaints really, actually. I think it's a nice experience.
Fantastic to hear. All right, well, let's keep going for a little bit and then we'll kind of wrap up shop and head back to do a final review. Right, it's pretty nippy. The car was pretty zippy. How was this PCO car for you and how suitable is it to PCO drivers out there? And give us a score, please.
Rich, I think before I do any of that, I just want to say that was a terrible pun, one of your worst.
I was thinking about the whole way up here.
I think in terms of a rating that I've got to give this car a 4.1.
Yeah. Okay, all right, not too shabby, not too shabby.
Yeah, not too shabby at all. Look, I think that it's a compact vehicle, but inside it's got plenty of space. You saw that in the boot as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It might not give you that exact luxury feel that you might get in other cars, maybe
True.
like the Kia e-Niro or the Nissan Leaf. But when you step inside, you definitely feel the space. It feels like a good drive. It feels nippy, like you said in that terrible pun. And I feel like, you know, with the boatload of range that it has to match, which was, like you said,
262 to be precise, but obviously dependent on many variables such as weather conditions and driving style.
Look, that's fantastic. I mean, you talk about putting that range in there with a 30-minute charge. I mean,
Yeah, that's done. That's a great feature as well.
That's
Range
the thing.
anxiety gone.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at the end of the day, it depends what you're looking for as a PCO driver. You
Yeah.
know, if you want that flash and you want that pizzazz, then you might be looking more at the top end of the range, like the Kia e-Niro or the Tesla. But you know, if you want to get the job done, if you want a suitable car and you want some of the fancy gadgets as well, and then you know, look no further. This will probably be the car for you.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair score. Like I said, a bit like the TARDIS, there's more space as you get inside it. Looks quite compact from the outside, and the more you're inside, the more features you learn about, and it's really intuitive and forward-thinking. And the range is absolutely there for this kind of job. So for many PCO drivers, it would be the perfect vehicle for them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the bag gets passed back to yourself for next time.
Yeah, it's me next time, isn't it?
Any ideas as to what that vehicle will be?
I can tell you something.
Yes.
You're going to be surprised.
Will you be surprised?
I'm going to be surprised because I don't know what it's going to be. But I can promise you it's going to knock your socks off.
Oh, big statement. Well, I look forward to it. How about we get out of this wind?
Yeah, I think
meet up
that's what I'm
next
looking
time.
forward to the most.
Lovely
But,
stuff.
yeah.
All right, until next time.
Till next time.
Cheers.
Let's do it.